What is going on YouTube and Spotify? This is the Just BSN podcast. And today we have episode 114. And with me, as always, I have with me my boy Andrew and my friend. It was another not so fun weekend in the Cleveland sports world. Things are not looking too great for really both of the major sports teams right now, as the Browns got absolutely demolished in Chicago after a very rough game with Sheduer and the guys, as well as the Cavs again continuing to struggle. They're also fighting a injury bug right now, which has really been all season long. They've been fighting some sort of injury bug, so they have not been able to get the full band together, and it's just not been a good time. So, after the weekend, how are we feeling? What's the vibe like right now in the Andrew household right now?
I mean, the vibe in the household's great. Like in the household, we're having a good time. But in the sports world, it's definitely not a good time. Like you said, it's very gloomy. Like the weather has been. Like the weather has been bad. The teams have been bad. Cleveland has just been bad. So I've not had a fun time watching the Cavs in their last two games that they came back after a long week off. I mean, struggling against two of the worst teams in basketball is a difficult watch. And then obviously the Browns, getting predictably demolished in Chicago, but
Yeah.
still nonetheless very disappointing. It makes this not so fun to do. We just have to be depressed all day.
Yeah, dude, it really does. It's not a fun time to get on here after a week like we had and just kind of be like, oh, you got to be super positive. It's like, nah, like, listen, we're just here to BS, but also like we're pretty real. Like we're not gonna fake it till we make it here. Like it is what it is. But yeah, man. I guess we might as well just dive right into the Browns and just get that over with, because that was honestly a game that after halftime I didn't watch it. I literally turned it off by halftime. I was like, there's no point. It's going to ruin my day, and I'm actually having a pretty good day. Like there was fun things going on. I was busy, so I was like, you know what? I'm turning that off. And then when I saw the final score of 31-3, I was like, I'm glad I didn't stay for that. And it was a little depressing to see Sheduer through three interceptions, but you could argue that they were just not necessarily bad throws. Like they weren't like just these terrible reads. They were pretty good plays from the defense. Near our goal line, he threw one where the linebacker just made a really good play. I think in any other situation there, you could probably float it over him. So clearly just didn't see him, and it happens. The throw to Judy honestly was on the freaking money, and Judy just literally handed it to him. And then the last pick that he threw as well, another really good play by the DB. So like that play wasn't really a great throw because he kind of overthrew him a little bit, but I think he wanted him in a different spot. And again, he's a rookie, he's raw. This is going to happen. Like this is just stuff that we have to deal with and overcome. And listen, give credit to Chicago. They came in with a different game plan. Like they are a type of defense that doesn't bring a whole lot of pressure. They pressured Sheduer more than anybody has done so far this year. And at this point, Sheduer has received the highest pressure rate since Deshaun Watson did, I think, in 2018 or 19. That's how bad it's been. He is just relentlessly getting blitzed. He is always getting hit. Like I swear, every time he throws the ball down the seam, it's being followed with a direct hit, and he's standing in the pocket and he's gonna make throws. And he still made some pretty good throws. A few of them to Isaiah Bond that were really nice. So it's nice to see him starting to get more of a long range connection with him. That's positive to see. He really, 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 really loves Fannin. He had, I believe, 14 targets. which is honestly a little too much. I think he needs to try to spread the ball around. But guys like Tillman only had like 7 snaps, and Judy is who he is at this point. And I just don't think Sheduer really trusts him, and he tries to, but he doesn't really, he's not really given the ability to trust him. So you mix that with the fact that you just have a, I mean, you want to talk about a depleted O line. I genuinely feel bad for Batonio. I really do. He's going out there every game, literally just. I mean, he's hanging on by a thread. Like this is his last year. His body can't do another year, and the Browns cannot talk him into another year unless it's somewhere else. Respectfully, like as much as I love Batonio, he has lost a step, and you can tell like he's just not the same guy. But also, like again, his body is gonna give out on him, and I truly believe he's just gonna retire and just go off into the sunset the way that he deserves. And it sucks that he gets to go out sort of the same way as Joe Thomas, thankfully without a major injury yet. But the rest of this O line has just been absolutely defeated. Even Jenkins went out this week, and now he's day to day with a shoulder injury. You have no Conklin. You're having Lucas back out there. You have that Leviton there. Cam, Robinson is still playing and somehow sticking at left tackle, which is surprising me. You have Whippler in there instead of Posich. It's just a rough time, and it doesn't help when the run game is also being heavily affected by that. Judkins had no effect on the game, and they really couldn't get him the ball anyway because they were down 14-zip almost instantly. I mean, you're talking by midway through the second quarter, I think they had 14, points at that time, and it's so much to overcome. And once again, I don't feel bad for Stefanski. This is just another game where you're like, man, there were so many mistakes. There were so many things that were so odd. The whole Sheduer wristband thing that they had, where apparently he had lost some plays in his wristband and they had to go get them. Like, that doesn't happen to anybody else. It's the most Brownsiest thing you can possibly dream of. You couldn't put that into Chat GBT any more clearly. That's how bad that was. This team it's honestly pathetic. It's a pathetic excuse of a team, especially on the offensive end. And I truly believe these guys are checked. I think they're checked. I think they're ready to go to Cancun and Bora Bora. Like, they are ready to go on a vacation. And the only one that actually deserves it is Myles Garrett, who did record another sack and is now one more sack closer to beating the all-time NFL single season record. And yet there's nothing to show for it. There's a 3-11 football team behind that, and he's going to win another Defensive Player of the Year. And again, it's not going to matter. There's not going to be anybody that's going to give a crap besides us. And we're going to sit here wondering when Stefanski is going to get fired at this point, because it's not even like a possibility. It's inevitability. Like, he's truly inevitably gone. There's no way you can look at what's going on with this team and say, yeah, I think he deserves one more year. If you're really saying that, you are absolutely out of your mind. I'm sorry. I can't do it anymore. I can't sit here and listen to Jeff Phelps talk about this. I can't have these people that call into these radio stations and talk on Twitter saying, oh, Kevin Stefanski was a 2-time coach of the year. He could coach. He may be a decent play caller on his own, but he's not a leader of men. He's not a leader of men, doesn't hold guys accountable, and this team continues to have these same mistakes every single game. I don't want to yell at this point anymore. I'm just tired. I am tired. I'm fed up. And we are about to now see our Browns get their booties kicked in by the Buffalo Bills. If we even keep this game remotely close, it's because Josh Allen is asleep at the wheel. Because there is no way that this Browns team doesn't give up like at least 40 points. It's going to be like Detroit all over again, is my point. So, Andrew, I mean, I know how I kind of just spitballed there for a minute. I kind of went off the wire, but what was your sort of, you know, post game analysis and just kind of what your thoughts are with the current state of things, which I think I'm sure you pretty much agree with everything at this point, especially when it comes to Kevin. But I don't know, man. Where's your thoughts and where's your head at this point?
I mean, you've said everything that I've wanted to say. Like it's such a disappointment, and it just feels like this season is more than a waste. Miles Garrett, like you said, is a sack away from accomplishing something amazing, and he's going to have 3 wins to show for it at the end of the day. We spent 5 games watching a 5'6" quarterback do absolutely nothing. We watched a 40-year-old man sit there for 2-3 games. Again, just do nothing. We've watched the same Jerry Jeudy story every week where he can't catch a single pass. And the one time that Sheduer does trust him, it's a ball in the end zone, easy to catch, and he drops it for an interception. This team is in shambles. I feel like, except for maybe Myles Garrett, everyone on this team has just given up. Because Myles Garrett is not going to give up when he's a sack away from the record. And I just think everyone else besides him has just given up. They realize the season's lost. The season's gone. Sheduer is also going to work very hard because obviously he's fighting for a job next season, even though he's a rookie. And he's hoping to fight for the starting job over potentially Deshaun Watson. So at least for 2 guys, there's something to play for. But for everyone else, it's over. For Kevin Stefanski, it's over. For Barry, it's over.
Yeah.
For the fans, it's over. For the fans, it was over after like week 6.
Yeah.
But just watching everything that unfolded, the wastefulness that we had to witness with Dylan Gabriel. When if you started Sheduer, there's probably a chance, not a big chance, but a chance that you probably win a few of those games.
Yeah, like the Vikings game.
The Vikings game, yeah, and a couple others. And guess what? You might be closer to a playoff spot. And maybe this season wouldn't have been so chalked. But
probably would have had at least a little more answers than questions.
But we wasted too much time with Dylan. I think after Dylan's 3rd game, I think you should have said, "You're done, kid. You can't ball." And I think he had too big of a leash. But this whole season is just washed.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a hard time watching this team. Luckily, I was in the casino watching the game, and I kind of just turned away from the TV and just focused on what I was doing instead.
Right.
And said, you know what? I'd rather burn money than watch this football team play. Each fan should get some kind of financial compensation for what they have witnessed this year.
Right.
I think we should be paid to go to the stadium and watch a game. I don't think we should be paying the team. I think we should be the ones getting paid to go into the game. Like, this is a very, very poorly ran football team from top to bottom. It starts with Jimmy, ends on Kevin. This whole organization is just dog water. The only people who are good are probably the medical staff, and that's about it. The vendor who supplies the drinks. These are the only people who are actually worth noting. I feel bad, like you said, I feel bad because there has been a lot of injuries. There's a lot of guys injured. Um, but still, it's one of those things where you have to find a way to get over it, as other teams have all season. Other teams don't use injuries as an excuse. They still find ways to win. That's what you have to do as a team. You have to find ways to win. Injuries or not. The dysfunction, we talked about the dysfunction. You talked about losing a wristband card and having to go to the sideline and get new ones. What is Kevin doing in that situation? Like, dude, you're telling me the play sheets are just gone from his wrist? It's it's so frustrating that, and of course, it's obviously us that it happens to, but it's so exhausting to listen and to talk about all this stuff that is going on with this team. And I don't even know if I'm going to watch the last couple weeks. I might watch the Steelers game because obviously it's Browns and Steelers, and that's the game you always watch.
Yeah, I mean,
But other than that, dude, I don't even know if I want to at this point.
I'm gonna watch the Bills game because I have some Bills players on my
Yeah,
my fantasy team, and I got to the next round. I somehow beat the top seed in my one league by like 2.5 points, and then I beat I think the third seed as like again one of the last seeds by like 15. So it was a very good week for me for fantasy, but yeah, that's kind of the only way for me to watch these games and actually like have anything to it, and also just to keep track of the Miles sack thing.
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I really just want to have something to be like, okay, like at least we had this to look forward to during the season. But once again, it's another wasted year, and I guess at least you have the fact that you went out and paid Miles, and he at least delivered. Like he did what he tried his butt off to do, and it just proves how much of a little factor stuff like that becomes when you don't have some of the other role players that you need on this team, like a competent quarterback or competent receivers or offensive line. It all adds up to one big group, and then all ends up to the same result. So Browns have so much work to do. It's like you almost don't even know where to begin at this point because it's just it's so bad on so many levels.
yeah. No, it's awful on so many levels. I mean, it's so hard to talk about just because of how bad everything is, and it like I said, it's just exhausting to talk about it week after week of how incompetent this franchise is. Like, this team has committed the most drop passes in the NFL. This team has committed the most penalties in the NFL. This team has committed so many of everything that is negative that could be in football. And the fact that we hear the same, and I think this is what pisses us both off the most, is hearing Kevin say the same thing over and over and over and over again in the press conferences. I cannot wait for the day where I don't have to hear, this is on me. We have to get it right. I have to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
Anything along the lines of that. I was out coached. I need to be better. We need to be better as a football team. I am tired of hearing that every single week. It's the same cookie cutter answers that he gives the press every week. And it's vaguely, if I was a member of the press, like Mary Kay or someone, I'd be annoyed at the answer. I'd be like, listen, Kevin, you say this every week. Like, let's be real. You're just not good anymore. It's time to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Step away. Because at this point in time, you're wasting your time just coaching this football team because you're not doing anything. You still commit the most penalties. You lack leadership. You lose wrist cards, play cards that go on your wrist. How incompetent can you be? I think the one biggest thing that's been a problem with Kevin all his tenure here is the penalties. Because every single year with him, we've committed the most amount of penalties because of his lackluster leadership. And the fact that they chose Kevin over Dan Campbell when they had the opportunity is so crazy. Because I would rather 99 times out of 100 have Dan Campbell or just at this point anyone else. And I hope when the clock hits 000 against the Bengals is that I hope and pray that Kevin is fired immediately and is not allowed on the plane, in the locker room, anywhere else. He's banned from the team. He is fired. He's gone. Same thing with Bubba Ventrone. Same thing with 99% of the staff who's not named Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz is the only one allowed back on the plane ride home from the coaching staff. Everyone else, go find another job.
Yeah.
That's I could go on and on, but I'm not going to because it's just not even worth it anymore.
Yeah.
I see you got a dog sighting here.
Yeah, she decided to come in here, which looks like everybody's asleep anyway, so it's okay. Hi. Here, you can come up here. It's okay. You're okay. Hold on. Sorry, guys. We'll have a little dog break. This is Lola. This is our family dog. She's the best. We love her.
Honestly, we need a dog break because that's the only positive of the week so far.
She's got that dog in her.
You know what? Make her the head coach of the Browns. She'd probably be 10 times better.
Do you want to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns? No? I mean, I don't blame you.
Those eyes said it all. Those eyes are like, that job.
Yeah, I know. What are you doing? Do you want to get up on the bed over here? So that way I can continue my podcast. Come here. Come on, get up here. Lola. Get over here. Come on. You're a goofball. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's not really much else that I want to say, at least for the Browns' sake.
I think we said a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of what it is at this point. There's not much else that is going to change until the end of the year anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So let me close my door real quick, and then we will move on to some Cavaliers talk, shall we?
Let's do it, man. Let's move on to some Cavs.
Let's do it. Yeah. So we have not talked like much Cavs at all over the past, few months that they've been playing so far. Which honestly is just because there's just been so much else going on in the sports world that it's kind of hard to really get to them. But there also hasn't really been a whole lot of positive things to really talk about over the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's been a rough stretch for them. Obviously, as I said before, they have a major injury bug right now. Mobley just went down with the calf strain. He is out 2 to 4 weeks. Garland is still kind of battling the whole toe injury, still fighting through it, still, aggravating it, but still trying to gut it out and play through it. I almost think he needs a new shoe in order for him to actually continue this, because right now it's just awful. You still don't have Struce back. You're having guys like Ball out. Sam Merrill has been out. Jarrett Allen was out a little bit with his finger. There's just a lot of guys that have not been able to consistently be on the floor for the Cavs, and as a result, it's kind of hurting their communication on the court. It affects their defense. There's a ton of breakdowns that happen all throughout the game. They're getting out rebounded every single game. It's so bad. Even when you have Jared Allen and Mobley, they're still getting out rebounded. That's when you know it's not going well. Especially even more when you still have a guy like Hunter on the floor, or even, Donovan can grab 6 rebounds a game. He's a good
rebound and guard. Tyson has been a huge boost for us, regardless of how bad we've been playing. And again, it's just been a rough stretch. And I guess just what are your thoughts so far on the state of the Cavs, and possibly some things you might want to see change, or just see them sort of um, make more light of, or make some changes to help this team out right now? Because as of right now, they're pretty much on like the bubble right now.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to this team, and like you said, like injuries and stuff have been a pretty big concern, but this team, even with the injuries, is still good enough to win ball games. I think at this point, the core four isn't working. I think you need to let go one of anyone but actually just anyone but Mitchell, really.
Mm-hmm.
Now I will say Mobley did look a lot better in the last 2 games than he has in the season, so maybe he's starting to pick things up a bit, which I'm hoping is what we see, this week still is him continuing to improve more and more. But like you said, I think the biggest issue for the Cavs right now is getting out rebounded, especially when you have 2 bigs on the floor. This team, this is the reason why we lost a couple of days ago, is the fact that we were just out rebounded by a lot. And what it does is it leads to second chance opportunities. It leads to, free throws because you end up fouling. It leads to disaster when you let up free throws, and people don't realize that you have to win at least the rebounding battle to stay in a game. Because I'm going to look at it right now. Charlotte had 53 rebounds and the Cavs 46. But I think what kills the Cavs, which I think they did a good job of against the Hornets, was they shot less 3-pointers. Because I know it was the last game we played. We like more than half our shots were threes. I think we had like 82 shots, and like 46 or 47 of them were threes. I was like, that can't happen. And at the time, and even against Charlotte, the best we were doing was when we were driving to the basket. You were getting free throws, and you were making baskets. I mean, Donovan Mitchell, 1 for 11 on threes. Garland was 3 for 7. Dean Wade was 3 for 6. Hunter was 0 for 3. And Lonzo Ball was 1 for 5 from 3.
Yeah.
We're not making 3-pointers. Get to the basket. Stop shooting. And it's so frustrating that I think the one thing that we liked last year was there was a lot of ball movement that led to open creations and open shots. And I haven't seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot more just kind of like ISOs and just kind of hurry up and just quick shoot the ball. There isn't a lot of ball movement. And I think the plot is lost. And I think we need to go back to what was working last year. And that's, the Cavs just constantly just moving the ball around and just doing those quick passes that they were doing last year, which did lead to open threes, which did lead to open layups. And the one thing I saw this on TikTok the other day, this guy did a breakdown of the Cavs kind of defense. And what teams have noticed is that the Cavs kind of like to double up on almost everything. And so what they do is they use like an inside guy to draw not only just like Jared Allen into the middle, but they'll use it to draw maybe like Garland or Mitchell to the middle, which would lead to an open 3 on the far side. Or they'll notice the far 3 and both of them will try and race to the outside, and it'll leave a wide open center in the middle for an easy layup or dunk. And teams are manipulating that every single time. And you have to watch film and find a way to not only on the defensive side break that down, but just limit shots. And the one thing that pissed me off too was the game tying 3-pointer from Charlotte because Darius Garland tried to take a charge 35 feet away from the basket. And he got stared down, and the dude nailed the three. And if you're Garland, all you have to do is just stand there and stay in his face.
Mm-hmm.
And if he makes it over your face, I can sit there and say, okay, you know what? That was good defense. You sat there, you tried to flop a charge, and the dude just drained a wide open three and looked at you while he did it.
Yeah.
And it's embarrassing. And you could see the assistant coach on the sideline going to Darius and doing the smacking his hand on the wrist, which is lock him up, like stay tight on him. And instead, Darius tried to go for the charge 35 feet away from the basket. And he caused overtime. And I guarantee you, if Darius stayed on his feet and stayed in his face, that dude was going to miss that shot. And you win that ball game.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with this team, Zach, but something deep down is going on, and it's preventing the Cavs from winning ball games. I don't know if it's just neglection, no more trust. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on, but something just doesn't look right when you watch games.
Yeah, I don't know if this falls a little more on the injuries or if it falls on Kenny, if it falls on some of the players, like just the way that the players play together. Something is missing. Like there's something that's just not there. I have a hot take. I have a hot take, and I know I've probably said this one to you before. I haven't really said it on here.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Cavs need to consider, and I mean seriously consider trading one of Garland or Mobley, not Allen. Mobley. This is my reasoning. And I know this is going to be a very hot conversation and something that not a lot of fans are going to agree with because Mobley is supposed to be the future. He's supposed to be the sort of the centerpiece. As of right now, the true centerpiece is Donovan. It doesn't matter what you think. He's the guy that's putting up 40 points in a night, carrying a team where, we should have lost to Washington.
Yeah.
And we came back because he scored 48 freaking points. He scored 24 in the fourth quarter, dude. You don't win that game without him there. Mobley had, I think, like 20-something points, like 23 points. But it wasn't really like him doing the work when it means something. He does all of that in the first half and then gets shut out in the second half and wants to chuck up threes like he's Kevin Durant instead of pull up mid-rangers and try to literally dominate low. He refuses to be the aggressor. And because of that, I think you can seriously consider trading him or trade Garland. And then maybe you decide to trade Allen. But if you do so, you need somebody that's going to physically be able to go in there and help with the rebounding and the defense and just being able to contribute in that way and take a little bit off of Mobley's shoulders to where he can feel a little more free. Because right now, especially on offense, Mobley is not free. He is not this guy that has this sort of flow throughout the game. It's very robotic. It's very scripted almost.
Yeah. And
it makes it difficult for other guys to get him involved because he's not putting himself in a position to get involved well. Like I said, last year, you were starting to see him getting ISOs up top. You were starting to see him at least get chances. And they're not even able to do that because A, Garland hasn't been able to play, and B, Donovan is just playing so well that he's the only guy that's able to do anything. And it's I don't know, man. I seriously think you have to break up the core four in order for this team to start to turn around a little bit.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I think the one big positive the Cavs have right now is Jalen Tyson.
100%.
Jalen Tyson has been so good this season, especially, with what's been going on as of late, because Donovan Mitchell has needed someone to help him out.
Yeah.
And Jalen Tyson has been that guy. I think in back-to-back games, I think against the Hornets, and I think in the last game too, he's had a double-double. He had a against Charlotte a couple days ago. He had 16 points, 13 rebounds. And in his last game, I believe, what was the last game? Against the Wizards, I think he also had another double-double night. Let's see. He was.
I don't think he had.
Oh, he was just short. He was just short of it.
Yeah.
But again, Jalen Tyson. I mean, he had 6 rebounds. He had more rebounds than bigger guys like DeAndre Hunter.
It's inexcusable.
And Dean Wade.
Yeah, it's inexcusable. Dean Wade is another guy that I've been saying for like the last 2 years.
Like, get rid of this guy.
Get rid of him. I'm done with the Dean Wade takes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired of it. So yeah, like this Cavs team definitely needs to shake some things up. You know, they did so in the offseason a little bit, but you know, they gave up a guy like Okoro for a guy like Lonzo, who technically speaking should be the better guy to have, and yet Okoro is playing pretty good for Chicago, and Lonzo is playing okay for us. And it's just one of those moves that you just kind of wonder, like, was that the correct move, or is this going to take a little bit of time to get sort of acclimated? Like, you really don't know, and you really can't predict it. But I do think that the Cavs need to be somewhat aggressive, especially in the deadline, not only because of the fact that they are sort of having, a rough season as who should be still at least one of the favorites to run through the East. But again, as a team that has that chance where other teams that have been really good are not so great. The best teams in the East right now are teams like Detroit and Toronto and New York. New York's about to win the NBA Cup, I think.
That's going on right now. It's 30-28 San Antonio.
Yeah, so they are duking it out against San Antonio. So again, like, they have a chance to do that. And even though it's not like it's that big of a deal that, you don't get to win that or whatever, I just want the Cavs to feel like they are functioning again. They're working. Like, dude, Donovan's averaging over 30 points. And it's it's not even doing anything for us besides barely winning us games. And to lose to Golden State the way you did, to lose to now Charlotte, you lost to Portland a few weeks ago as well. That was a really bad loss at home. Like, you are losing games at home, but you're also losing very winnable games with, respectfully, rosters that are just not that great. And against a team that was a favorite at the start of this year to go the whole way in an Eastern conference that is kind of wide, open. But luckily, it's still early. The Cavs have a lot of time to get this right. But if they really do see a problem, they have to act on it sooner than later. Because the sooner that you do that, the quicker you can get it turned around. And the more time you have to get it turned around. Because right now, what you have and what you're doing is not working. So I think the Cavs need to make some sort of very aggressive, very drastic move with one of the core 4 guys. Because they kept these guys for this offseason to see how they would respond to losing the way that they did. And so far, they are not responding well. The only guy that has responded is Donovan. Obviously, that's not a surprise to anybody. But to see Garland not being able to stay healthy, Mobley being his lack of aggression throughout the whole season, now he's hurt. Jared Allen is still the same Charmin soft center in this league. You just can't have it. And it's just time. I don't know if you necessarily agree with it, but for me, I think it's time.
I mean, yeah, I think it's time to. I saw something a few minutes ago, and someone, I think it's like a big like Cavs page on Instagram.
Mhm.
Had a picture of Ty Jerome and said like, "Do you miss this man?" and whatever. Would you bring him back? And then Ty Jerome himself made a comment underneath the post with just 2 hearts, and people are like, "Damn, this boy misses us," and stuff like that. I was like, honestly, I kind of miss the dude too, because he came
Yeah.
in clutch in a lot of games.
Yeah.
He was a clutch man. And like honestly, he's like, if I could, I'd probably trade Lonzo Ball away and get him back. And at least he could score points. At least he could drop double digits. But this team really needs to find something to fix because I can't watch this team lose to easy opponents. You have Chicago back to back because you play them away tomorrow, and then you're at home on Friday. So you play Chicago back to back, and those are very, very winnable games. And in my eyes, if nothing's done by the new year, like if you continue to lose and you're bad by the new year, you have to make changes drastically. You have to start making changes. Like the one thing I'm gonna watch for tomorrow is again, do we get out rebounded?
Yeah.
Do we shoot too many threes?
Yeah,
Are
the
we
threes are another big thing.
Are we moving the ball enough?
Yeah.
Like if something doesn't change tomorrow, then something really needs to change by the new year because if not, you're just going to continue to lose games. And I hope this season kind of looks like what it did for the Pacers last season.
Yeah.
Or like it kind of looks like they're doing bad and they're kind of up and down. They're like, oh, we're kind of bad. But then they just go on a godly run.
Yeah.
I hope that happens, but the thing is you can't bank on it. And this team, and also too, this team is way too good for that. This team is far too good for that. And I hope you're right. I pray to God it's the vast majority of the problems is the injuries that we have sustained.
Yeah.
Because I tell you what, Merrill was making a difference for a while before he got injured.
Yeah, he was. But it's also just a lazy way to play.
Yeah.
If you're shooting up 53s in a game, like that's just prove you guys don't want to move the ball around, and it proves that you guys are trying to settle for the three. Yeah, it's way different from last year. Way different. So you really hope that they at least try to look at that and say, listen, we can't be doing this. Like, yeah, like sure, you want to make more shots, and they haven't really shot the ball well as of recent, but you have to make up for it by taking quality shots instead of just taking a barrage of shots. Like, Donovan is shooting like 13 threes in a game. Garland, the one night, was 0 of 11 for 3, and we somehow won that game against Washington because he at least went to the free throw line and at least tried to get to the rim, but it took him a whole half to get to that point. So, it's a slippery slope, but the Cavs, it's not like they don't have the players to do it. It's just they need to get out of whatever this mental funk they're in and figure it out. Because if they don't, the Cavs are going to be forced to make a decision and split up the core and make some drastic moves like that. So if they want to stick together, they have to make the moves, man. They have to not screw around anymore because you're quite literally running out of time at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's pretty much all I got. I don't know what Miss Lola wants, but she keeps bothering me. So let's get to the predicts and get on out of here.
Let's do it.
I know, Lola. It's taking forever, huh?
All right. So to recap last week, I went 10-6. You went 9-7. The only difference maker was the New Orleans Carolina game. So I had New Orleans. You had Carolina. So I went 10-6. You went 9-7. That puts us at total. I am at 146-77-1. You, Zach, are at 142-83-1. So got to win back for myself. Let's move on to the actual predicts itself. Starting off with Thursday Night Football, the LA Rams versus the Seattle Seahawks.
That's a good game. This is a really good game. But I tell you what, the Rams losing Devontae and possibly not having Puka is going to be a tough one. I'm going to go Seattle because they're at home, and I think it's going to be a tough challenge. But if the Rams win this game, it's going to prove that they are just the best team, and they need to be the clear favorites for the Super Bowl right now because Seattle's a good football team.
Yeah, I also went with Seattle just because, like you said, the two injuries to the two receivers could really affect a lot in this game. So, with that being the case, and Seattle being at home, I do agree and go with Seattle in this one. So, we have two Saturday games this week. We have the first Saturday game at 5 o'clock, which would be between the Eagles and the Commanders.
Eagles should win this game. I think the Commanders will make it interesting, but the Eagles had at least a nice little bounce back game against the Raiders, and it's a game that they can kind of sort of have a little bit of momentum on because they have obviously struggled this year, but the better team is clearly the Eagles here.
Yeah, I went with the Eagles too. Washington has decided to sit Jaden Daniels for the rest of the season, which I think is a smart play for Washington. I went with the Eagles because, again, I just think they're clearly the better team. So, go with the Eagles. Green Bay at Chicago.
I am going Chicago. Green Bay just lost Micah. They just lost Watson as well. They're just starting to lose some key guys to the whole deal, and I think the Micah loss is going to hurt them really bad. It may not hurt them so bad in this game, in particular, but it's going to hurt them come playoff time. But Chicago is playing some really good ball right now. I can see them at home winning this game.
I said the same thing too. I went with Chicago, like you said. Losing Watson and Micah Parsons is gonna, and just other players as well. The Green Bay is just starting to drop like flies, and right at the wrong time too, because they're supposed to be a really good playoff team this year, and they're just dropping like flies.
Mm-hmm.
And Chicago just came off of a massive win against Cleveland, so I'm gonna stick with Chicago and ride the high with them. Going to the Sunday games, we have the Chargers at Cowboys.
I'm gonna go Chargers. Dallas just lost at home. They've started to kind of quiet down a little bit. The Chargers, I think, are leading their division somehow or somewhere. At least they're in the playoff hunt, I should say, because I think pretty sure Denver is actually ahead of them. But they're playing good enough. The Chargers have been a solid team, so I'm gonna go Chargers.
Yeah, I went with the Chargers too. I think the Chargers have been playing some really good football lately, and they're showing the NFL why they are going to be a very tough team to beat, especially when come playoff time. So I'm going to go with the Chargers. Like you said, Dallas has also been on a really bad cold streak too, so I don't see them making any noise. Tampa Bay at Carolina.
Man, this is a tough one because Tampa has really struggled. They have struggled. Yeah. But I think they get a get-back game now that they have Mike back. I think Carolina is going to choke this one at home, and Tampa Bay is going to come out with at least some sort of lead of that division because they are just – it's almost like they're fighting to not win the division. Yeah. Like every year. Same division does this. But I think Tampa finally gets back on the win column. I know Baker has obviously struggled a little bit, but he at least had something going with Mike, and they very well should have won last week, and they just, obviously came up short. I think that changes this week.
Yeah, I said the same thing too. I went with Tampa Bay because, again, they're fighting for the division. So is Carolina. Obviously, it's between Carolina and Tampa Bay. But again, I think with the additions of getting Mike Evans back, and obviously a week or so ago getting back Chris Godwin, that offense, and obviously getting back Bucky Irving too, like their key offensive players are coming back from injury slowly but surely, and I think that's going to help Baker a ton. So I think they finally get everything pieced together now that they're going to have a full week together, and I think that Tampa Bay can actually get this done and win their division. Minnesota at the Giants.
I'm gonna go Minnesota, just because the Giants are pretty much just trying to squeak by and do whatever they can to still keep within a top like 6 pick. Minnesota has somehow still hung around. They're still kind of fighting for their lives at this point. So I'm going Vikings.
I went with the Giants. I just think that a guy like Jackson Dart's going to continue to play hard no matter what. I think he's going to work because he wants to prove that he could be a really good competitive quarterback in the NFL, and I think the only way by doing that is that he has to win some football games here at the very tail end, and I do think he can snag a home win. And I just don't trust JJ McCarthy whatsoever because he's a very, very streaky guy. This one should be no contest. Buffalo at Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland will win by 40 now. No, Buffalo wins this game very easily, and I won't be surprised if this game goes similarly to how the Detroit game did about a month and a half ago.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with Buffalo as well, just because it should be like 50-0. So I'm just gonna rock with that. Kansas City at Tennessee.
I think Tennessee is actually going to do it. Now without Mahomes, Kansas City is toast. They're already out of the playoffs. You got to think they're going to start to sit some of their vets, like Travis and stuff. Like those guys probably won't see the field as much, just because again, season's over. They have nothing else to play for, and honestly rooting for Tennessee to win because it will kind of help a little bit in terms of the draft standings for us. So let's root for Tennessee here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I'm rooting for Tennessee. Like losing Patrick Mahomes is basically the blow that is gonna. I mean, I know Kansas City's out of the playoffs already with that loss this past weekend, but I think with the loss of Patrick Mahomes, I don't know if they're going to win a football game going to the end. So I'm going to go with Kansas City. Or I mean Tennessee, my bad. I'm going to go with Tennessee. Cincinnati at Miami.
I am going to go... God, this is just a bad game for both teams.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Bengals. Miami is who they are. Miami will probably end up freaking winning this game, but the Bengals should win this game, and they should win it just about as easy as Pittsburgh did, last night. So
I don't know why, but I went with Miami. I think this is just one of those games where Miami just happens to win, and a lot of it is probably just going to do with the fact that they're the home team. So I'm going to go with the home team here, and I'm going to go rock with Miami, especially since I think McDaniels is fighting for his job right now. Jets at Saints.
I am going to go the Saints. The Saints have been rolling. The Jets have been horrible. Brady Cook isn't much better than anybody else that has been there. So, Saints should win this game.
It shouldn't be a contest. I think the Saints are going to win this. Going to Jacksonville at Denver.
This is going to be a good game. I think Denver will still win this game. I don't know if they're going to start sitting guys or not. It just depends on if they're fighting for the first seed. But regardless, the Broncos are the better team. If Jacksonville wins this game, I will be frustrated, to say the least, because we all thought Jacksonville was supposed to be like a 6-win team this year, and that is not the case.
Yeah, that's definitely not the case. But I went with Denver. They're at home, and honestly, I think they're looking to be one of the better teams in the AFC. So I think they're gonna pull off a big win against the Jags here. Going to the Bird Bowl, we have the Falcons at Cardinals.
I'm going Falcons. The Cardinals are just, dude, they're dead in water. I feel like every game they start, and as soon as the first whistle blows, it's already 7-0. Like they are just, their defense is non-existent. It's almost like they have 10 guys on the field at all times. Yeah, they're absolutely toast.
I went with the Falcons too. I thought Kirk Cousins actually looked really solid in his game against Tampa Bay. And like you said, I think that Cardinals defense is so bad that the fact that once the whistle blows to start the game, they're immediately down 7-0. It's insane. So give me the Falcons. We got the Raiders at Texans.
Houston by 1 million.
Yeah, I mean, nothing to say there. Houston by 1 million. Right. That's about right.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh at Detroit.
I need Detroit to win this game. They're at home. They got to do it. But I have a weird hunch that the Steelers will win this game, but I'm still going Detroit despite my my gut feeling.
I went with Detroit just because I just want to spite the Steelers. So I'm going with Detroit just for my pure hatred of Pittsburgh. New England at Baltimore.
New England has themselves a bounce back game, and Lamar continues to struggle even at home. I see New England winning by at least a touchdown.
I have New England because it's going to be funny to have a playoff with no Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. And I know the Steelers are going to get smoked in the first round of the playoffs anyways. Yeah. So
like they do every year.
So I will take New England by 1 million. And then lastly, the Sunday night game or the Monday night game, we have San Fran at Indianapolis.
Listen, it's cool that Phillip Rivers is back, but San Fran is going to win this game, and they might win it a little bit easier than most would think. It's insane that the Colts started out at one point like 7-1, and I think they haven't won I think they've won one more game since. Like they're really down bad. So
I went with San Fran too. I think it's really nostalgic to see Phillip Rivers again. Like, what? I think it'd be funny to now see like Drew Brees come out of retirement and come back.
Yeah.
Like, give me all the childhood guys we used to watch.
Yeah. Next you're gonna have Brett Favre back.
Yeah, he's gonna be 60 years old, slinging the rock still.
His arm's gonna fall out.
He's gonna throw one deep ball, and his arm's gonna be shredded.
Yeah.
But yeah, give me San Fran. I just think having Phillip Rivers is just zero help whatsoever. But with that being said, that is the picks for the week. Quickly before we go, guys, check out our sponsor, Effortless Wins, for sports betting advice and place to boost your wins. Talk to Tony or Greg. Links will be in the description of Spotify and in the comment on YouTube. Go and check them out. The holiday season is literally within 9 days. Well, actually 8 days if you want to count Christmas Eve. So be sure you guys go get some last minute gifts with some bet money and talk to Tony and Greg. They're going to help you so much with that. I know Greg on his social media posted a free NBA Cup final play. So sometimes he does that. So if you're not following, whatever, go follow.
Yeah, definitely do. He always has the good looks on that. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much going to do it. I'm sure you guys have seen Lola in the past like 20 minutes just nonstop bothering me because she probably has to poop. So with that said, we will see y'all next week, hopefully with some more positive Cavs news, and we'll see how badly the Browns lose to the Bills. Till then, we'll see y'all next week.